Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the information session for UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education's winemaking programs. My name is Grady Wan, and I'll be your host today. And I am joined by my colleagues, Katie Candola, who's the program administrator for the Winemaking Certificate Program, and also by Julie Brinley, who will be talking briefly about the wine short courses upcoming. So we would all like to welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We are going to be talking about a few things. I'm going to start with a brief comments about the 2020 harvest and some basic industry trends in the wine industry. And then I'm going to be talking about the Winemaking Certificate Program for a little bit and the courses involved there, along with the basic chemistry class that we now offer as a prerequisite for that program. And then I will talk a little bit about the individual winemaking certificate courses before turning it over to Julie, where she'll be talking about some of the upcoming short courses. We will have a time for question and answers at the end. So if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to open the Q&A box and type in your questions. Katie will be fielding those as we go along, and we will address them hopefully at the end. Our plan is to give you just an overview of the winemaking classes that are available at UC Davis CPE and hopefully answer any questions that you might have. Okay, as I'm sure you all are aware, 2020 has been a very challenging year for all of us, but it's been especially challenging for the wine industry, especially here in California. I'm based in Healdsburg in Sonoma County, and we've had a very trying last couple of weeks, and the year in general has been difficult for all of us. So a couple of factors are involved with the 2020 situation. One is that the wine industry has been in a bit of grape oversupply for the last year or two, and the wine industry goes through cycles of oversupply and undersupply, sort of supply and demand cycles throughout the years. And we're currently in a spot where we've got generally more grapes than we actually need, which has put pressure on grape prices and also on winery inventories. Of course, you're all aware that we're also suffering through a global pandemic, and that's definitely hit wineries in especially winery tasting rooms, and the tourism basically has been shut down pretty much since March. We've been able to open tasting rooms locally for outdoor serving, but no indoor serving, and obviously tourism and travel has been down for all of us. But the last couple of weeks have been especially trying, as California has been beset with a number of wildfires. At one point, almost 400 wildfires burning across California last week. And this is especially true in the North Coast, where California vineyards and wineries have been threatened. And now we are thinking anyway about the possibility of smoke-tainted wines from the 2020 vintage, although that has yet to be determined. But the wine industry has been through cycles before. We've been through crises, and it's an extremely resilient industry. The people are fantastic and up to the challenge, and I'm sure they will be again for this year. Just a couple comments about the recent fires. This is a map of Northern California. This is the Bay Area, here San Francisco and Oakland, and the Bay Area proper. And as most of you know, the North Coast wine industry centered around Napa and Sonoma counties. And we've had several huge fires burning. In fact, two of the largest 3 fires in California history. The one in Napa and Sonoma This is the fire, the Walbridge fire burning west of Dry Creek Valley in Sonoma County. And this is the rest of that lightning started complex that is east of Napa Valley around Lake Berryessa and extending out into Yolo County. And so down south of the Bay Area, we also have a huge fire east of the Gilroy wine growing area, and then one burning in the Santa Cruz Mountains. The good news, if there is any, from these fires and their locations is they've been mostly burning in rugged, wild terrain between the coastal valleys. And so here's Napa Valley right here, extending from Napa up to Calistoga, and then Knights Valley, Knights Valley extending up to Alexander Valley, Alexander Valley up in Sonoma County, and Dry Creek Valley here, and Sonoma Valley extending here. And most of the fires have stayed out of the primary vineyard and winery areas, only affecting a few of the mountainside vineyards. The same is true down south. The Gilroy area and Livermore areas and the Santa Cruz Mountain vineyard areas have largely been spared so far. But there is the possibility of smoke. The smoke has been especially bad in the Bay Area proper. And but if the situation up here in Healdsburg is any indication, our air quality has been actually quite good over this period. And I'm anticipating that the grapes in our areas probably will see little effect. So now just a couple comments about the broader US wine industry. As you may or may not know, we now have over 10,000 wineries in the United States, and they're spread out throughout all 50 states. So basically all 50 states and the District of Columbia have wineries functioning. California is by far the largest with over 4,600 wineries. A lot of them are virtual, that is, they don't have actual bricks and mortar winery. They're usually custom crushed at another facility. But we also have significant amount of wineries in Washington and Oregon, up in the Northwest, as well as New York, Texas, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, the list goes on. Even have a handful of wineries in Alaska and Hawaii. That brings me to the first poll. So I thought I'd ask while we're talking about location, if you want to take a second and click on one of the boxes, letting us know where you're located. Our students generally are, we have a lot of students in the United States focused primarily in the West, but we do have students taking our classes from all over the US and other parts of the world as well. So I see the results coming in. Thank you for taking the time to do that. And this kind of shows pretty much what we'd expect. I'm going to take just a couple more seconds. Thank you for responding. I'm going to share the results here. So as you can see, we've got a number of people in California, northern, southern, central California, well represented, as well as Oregon and Washington, but also quite a few folks from the mountain and Midwest area, as well as the rest of the United States, and quite a few folks, 13 people from international. So thank you all for joining us. Okay. So just a couple of other comments about the wine industry in general. Although we've got over 10,000 wineries, as you can see by the chart on the left, most of those are small. 96% of them are less than 50,000 cases produced annually, and over 80% are less than 5,000 cases. So most of the wine industry across the United States are small producers, most of them less than 5,000 cases. And although those wineries make a wide variety of wines at a wide variety of pricing points, most of those wineries produce wines in the $11 to $40 range, as you can see by the chart on the right. This is data taken from Wines and Vines Analytics earlier this year. So I always get the question about salaries in the wine industry for winemakers, and I put up this chart from last year's Wine Business Monthly survey of wine industry salaries, just so you can see that although most of us are not in it for the money, as you can see, winemaker average salaries in the $70,000 to $110,000 range. So it's not the highest paying of occupations, but you can see the rest of the, a couple of the other jobs in small winery situations, vineyard manager, office manager, tasting room, and wine club manager, just so you can get an idea of the range of salaries. This is average for smaller wine producers in the 50,000 case range. So we're not generally in it for the money, and probably you are not as well. So I thought I would also ask a quick poll about what caused you to attend this webinar today. So are you already in the wine industry? Are you thinking about starting a winery, thinking about starting a vineyard? So if you want to look through the possible choices here, we generally, as far as our students are concerned, have a variety of students, from people that are already in the industry and are looking for more technical or more information about a particular topic. And we also have a lot of second career folks, or people that are interested in getting into the wine business and are looking for more information about how they might be able to do that and get the technical knowledge that may indeed help them as well. So thank you for taking the time to answer that. Looks like most of the results are in. So I'm going to end that poll and share the results. And it looks like a lot, 20-some% of you are looking to find a job in the wine industry. This is pretty typical for us. We also have a number of folks that are already in production winemaking at the moment, and usually have quite a few enthusiastic wine consumers as well that are just looking for more information. So again, thank you for your participation there. I know for me, I spent 25 years as a commercial winemaker in Sonoma County before taking on teaching roles for the Winemaking Certificate Program and eventually becoming the program director about a decade ago. For me, the motivation was first and foremost the product. It's a great product to be involved with. It's also great locations. I had the pleasure of working in Sonoma County, beautiful properties at both Sonoma-Cutrer and at Key Vera Vineyards in Dry Creek Valley. And very engaging people that are willing to share, and just a wonderful industry to be involved with. In addition, my career as a winemaker and general manager of a small winery it's a wonderful combination of agriculture and production, science and creativity, logistics. It's a very seasonal business, so you're never doing the same thing over and over again, week after week. The vineyard has seasons, so does the winemaking schedule. So you're always doing something different. Involved in marketing and promotion of the product across the country. So you get a chance to meet a lot of folks and see a lot of the different wine markets across the country. And often happens if you get, like I did, put in charge of the operation, You also are involved with finance and employee relations. So it's an incredibly varied, exciting business to be involved with, and I loved every minute of it. So now just a couple of comments about the winemaking certificate program that I run and am one of the instructors in. The certificate program is designed to teach the science behind the art of winemaking. So we follow the science-based curriculum at UC Davis Viticulture and Enology Department. And our goal is to try to give it a practical context by having those concepts taught by people that have worked in the wine industry as commercial winemakers for many years. It is designed for those that are interested in commercial production winemaking. So that's our focus, is on the commercial aspects of production winemaking. But it may be useful to anybody who's in or wants to be in the wine industry and is intrigued by the science of making wine. So even if you're interested in the sales side or the general manager side, knowing more about how wine is made and what goes into those decisions is a great background to have. So just a couple of features of this certificate program. As I mentioned, it's based on the world-renowned Viticulture and Enology Department on campus at UC Davis. And the focus, as I mentioned, is on the science-based and research-based side of winemaking and grape growing. We hire quality instructors with extensive commercial experience. I think all of the instructors that teach in the program currently on the winemaking side have at least 25 years of commercial winemaking experience, that is, as head winemakers in commercial wineries. And the same goes for our viticulture instructors, have rich commercial experience in commercial grape growing. We focus on the practical application of the academic information. We know that the science is important, but it's also important how that actually plays out in a real world winery situation. These courses are accessed from anywhere in the world. They are 100% online. There is no on-campus or in-person part of these courses. That's how it was designed. And there are some limitations to that, but the technology these days allows us to overcome much of that. There is a somewhat flexible course path, as I'll mention in a minute, that allow you to tailor the order of the courses that you take and the timing in which you take them to fit your schedule. It also offers a tremendous amount of networking opportunities, not only with the instructors that are involved in the program, but also the students that take classes with you. The students have a vast array of different experiences from all over the country and, as I mentioned, all over the world. And so you get a chance to learn from your peers, from their experiences, and also provides increased networking opportunities as well. So here's just a little bit of the logistics. There's 5 quarter-long courses. They run 10 or 11 weeks. The program generally takes about 2 years to complete. Not all courses are available every quarter, and not all students want to take courses back to back. So that does give you some flexibility. The costs are shown here. And as I'll mention, the introductory course, which is the lead-off course to this program, can be taken by itself. The program does have a chemistry prerequisite. We found that in order to be successful in this science-based approach, you really need to have some level of background in chemistry. And so we require a 1-semester college chemistry course as a prerequisite. For those that don't have sufficient science background, there are several options. We always recommend either a local community college course, especially ones that focus on the health sciences side of chemistry. And also, UC Davis CPE does offer a basic chemistry for winemakers course that we created this year specifically as a prerequisite for the winemaking certificate program. and it is now in the offering at least every other quarter in our course catalog. Here's just a couple of comments about the Basic Chemistry for Winemakers course. It's a basic general biological and organic chemistry primer. So it gives you a background in these three areas. It's not specifically a wine chemistry course. That is, it doesn't focus on the chemistry of wine per se. It focuses on the basics of chemistry, but also gives you an introduction to organic and biological chemistry, which is often not included in the community college offerings. It's a 12-week online course, as I mentioned, designed specifically as a prerequisite for this program, and we can give you more information about that if you're interested. It's based on the Karen Timberlake test, General Organic and Biological Chemistry Structures of Life, which was recently published last year. It also has a series of online companion tools that make the learning environment richer. So here's a list of the 5 courses. The Introduction to Wine and Winemaking course is the introductory course. It's essentially a wine appreciation course. I'll mention a couple things about that in a minute. And then the 4 core wine science courses include wine production, quality control and analysis, which also includes microbiology, viticulture for winemakers, because as you probably know, it takes good grapes to make good wine. And often those of us that have been involved with running small wineries are also responsible for the quality of grapes coming in, whether they're grown on the property in the state grown sense or they're contracted out. Final course is wine stability and sensory analysis that looks at a lot of the stability issues for wine and its shelf life. So here's just a couple of quick comments about the introductory course. It's an open enrollment course. That is, you don't have to be a part of this certificate program to take this class. It's typically offered all 4 quarters. It's a series of recorded lectures by UC Davis professors. Goes over the history of wine, all the major wines and their wine growing regions around the world, fundamentals of the winemaking process, as well as the grape growing process, addresses wine and health issues, as well as some things about basic wine tasting and wine label information. As I mentioned, it can be taken without being part of the certificate course program, but it is the lead-in course for this program. The 4 other courses are limited in student enrollment to 45 students maximum, so that we can get really intimate instructor-student interaction. This is a series of recorded lectures, mostly voice over PowerPoint. You'll get the readings from the text, which is Ron Jackson's wine science text, which has just been updated this year, and access to the American Journal of Enology and Viticulture technical journal articles. You get a chance to interact with the instructors at any time through the in-course email system, as well as peer-to-peer discussions through threaded discussion forums. There are also weekly webinar sessions that provide an opportunity for you to ask questions and get feedback directly from the instructors live, as well as some practical tips. The assessments for all these courses are based on case study and open book assignments. So basically you will get a winery scenario, usually a problem situation. Your job is to assess that situation and design ways to move forward to remedy the situation or make a plan to move forward. So as I mentioned, we have the introductory course, and then the second course, wine production, needs to be taken initially, and then the remaining 3 courses can be taken in any order. And like I said, you do not have to take them back to back. You can take 1 course or 2 courses per year. Often the amount of study that it takes, people can't put their real life on hold for all 4 quarters, so they can take They only take 1 or 2 courses per year, but we are flexible and try to work with you to get a schedule that works for your personal situation. So here's just some highlights of the things that you will get out of the winemaking certificate program. Basically, our focus is on a scientific approach to winemaking and the stylistic decisions that take place during the winemaking process. You'll also see some fundamentals of wine analytical chemistry, how wine analysis is done, as well as the microbiological analysis side of things. We do talk a lot about the science of grape growing and the way grapes are grown to produce quality grapes, because as I mentioned, that's an extremely important part of the winemaking process. And then the wine stability focuses primarily on stability issues, both in the winery and in the bottle, as well as strategies to avoid those problems, including microbiological spoilage, as well as chemical instabilities. Our real goal is to prepare you for advancement in the wine industry if you're already working in the business, but looking for more technical knowledge and a chance to advance your career, or for people that are looking to get into the production wine world as a background without having to go and take a full on-campus degree program. Okay, that's what I wanted to say with regard to the winemaking certificate program. Before handing it over to Julie Brinley, who will talk about some of the other short courses that are offered through UC Davis, I thought I would launch this final poll and just have you take a couple minutes, a couple seconds, and answer whether or not you've taken any UC Davis continuing education courses in the past or not, and or whether you're a repeat customer. So there's a wealth of courses that have been offered through UC Davis, and we will continue to do so to support the wine industry. But I just kind of wanted to see where things stood for you personally. So it looks like most of our people viewing are new to UC Davis CPE. So I would like to welcome you. And with that said, I think I'm going to turn things over to Julie, and she can talk a little bit about the open enrollment short courses.
Hi, everyone. As Grady said, I'm Julie Brinley. I'm the education specialist for the viticulture and enology short courses. We currently do not have anything to offer for fall. So many of our courses that are generally held in fall are hands-on. They're held out in the vineyard, and we just are not able to do that now with the COVID virus. So that said, we are busy coming up with classes to hold online for winter and spring quarter. We will be offering, or in the works, wine filtration, a Spanish version, introduction to wine descriptive analysis, and topics in wine analysis, color and tannin measurement. In June, we held our regular wine filtration course for the first time online, and we got overwhelmingly positive reviews, responses. Leticia Rodriguez, the new winemaker at UC Davis, taught the course, and she just did a fabulous job teaching it. This is normally a very hands-on course. It's a 2-day course, but it just went great. One of the wonderful things about it, because it was online, we were able to have people do demonstrations from all over the world. We had somebody from Germany, from Italy, from Spain. It was great. Also, we had quite a few people attend that were international students, and you know, that makes things a lot more cost effective, not having to travel and all that. Doing some market research, we feel if we offered the course also in Spanish, I think it would be really well received. Letitia would be teaching that as well. And she also would be teaching the other two, the Introduction to Wine Descriptive Analysis and the topics in wine analysis, color and tannin measurement. Also, we will be offering a couple of old favorites online. Successful home winemaking and tasting room design and management. The successful home winemaking class will also be taught by Letitia, and the tasting room design and management class will be taught by Craig Root. And Craig has been teaching with us for many, many years and has over 20 years experience as a tasting room consultant. We are also very excited about offering a 4-part series, Tasting Like a Winemaker, with John Buchenstein. John has taught, he teaches our wine sensory courses, which are very, very hands-on, so we are able to offer those. But we're excited to offer this 4-part series, and the purpose of the class will be to bring students into the tasting from a winemaker's point of view. And we think the courses will really appeal to our winemaking certificate students and to students that have taken the Introduction to Sensory Evaluation of Wine that John teaches. So that's what's all in the works for winter and spring, and hopefully things will change and we can also add some in-person classes to our offerings as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie. So I guess at this point, that's the end of our formal presentation. So we're going to take some questions. I think Katie's been handling the questions on her end, and she'll be able to ask some questions. Hopefully you guys can get your questions answered.
Okay, Grady, can you go back to the financial breakdown of these classes?
Sure. There we go.
Okay.
So the introductory class is $685. The remaining 4, the core classes are $2,000 each. There is a $125 certificate fee, and the totals there, along with the cost of the textbook, which is Ron Jackson's Wine Science text, published in 2020, the 5th edition.
Thank you. Next question is, would I have to complete the chemistry requirement prior to applying to the program, or can I take it after being admitted?
Katie, do you want to handle that?
Sure. No, you do not have to complete the chemistry requirement before being admitted. As a matter of fact, we suggest that even before you start taking any of the classes, to go ahead and make an application to the program, so that upon approval, your name gets added to the wait list for course number 2, which is wine production. And that course has a wait of 6 months right now. So you can go ahead and take course 1, Introduction to Wine and Winemaking, before you complete the chemistry requirement. Going on to the next question. I guess we've covered this. This is going back to the cost of the classes. Next question is, can we apply to the winemaking certificate program if we haven't completed the chemistry requirement? Again, we've gone over it, and course 1 can be taken without the chemistry. You can take the basic chemistry course either before you take course 1, Introduction to Wine and Winemaking, or you can take it afterwards. However, you need to have your chemistry background fulfilled by the time you are ready to enroll in course number 2, as courses 2 through 5 are upper division science-based, and you will need that requirement.
So basically that's, as long as you have the application in prior to taking you have to have your application in before taking the wine production course. You can take the intro course without it, and you can take the basic chemistry course without it.
Okay, the next question is to do with the VESTA program, Grady. And the question is, what advantage does the UC Davis program have over the VESTA program?
Well, I haven't gone through the VESTA program personally, but I think that, and I understand it's a very good program. I think the highlights of our program would be that it's focused on the science-based curriculum at UC Davis, and the UC Davis Viticulture and Enology program is known as one of the best in the world. And I would also say that the experience of our instructors is also one of the keys. As I mentioned earlier, on the wine production side, all of the instructors that teach in the program have at least 25 years as head winemaker of a commercial winery, sometimes several wineries. There's a vast amount of experience. And so you get not only the science-based curriculum, but you get the practical application from somebody who's actually used it in the business over a number of years.
Okay, the next question is, can you provide the start and end dates of each quarter? I will start with summer. Usually summer quarter starts end of June, goes into mid-September, then comes fall. Fall usually starts end of September or the first week of October and goes into mid-December. Winter starts the first week of January and goes through March, and then comes spring, and spring is April through mid-June. Let's see, the next question. Are the 4 certificate program courses designed to be taken in any order, or should they be taken in 2, 3, 4, and 5? I think Grady covered that, but you want to repeat that, Grady?
Basically, the list that I showed you is the order that they were originally designed to be taken. However, it's really the last 3 courses, the QC course and wine stability and viticulture, can be taken in any order. And so basically you need to take the introductory course and wine production, and then the last 3 courses can be taken in any order, depending upon your interest and where you are in the wine industry. If you're starting a vineyard, you might want to get the viticulture for winemakers course done quicker. Or if you're interested in the analytical side, you might want to take the QC course first, but they can take in any order after the wine production course.
Okay, the next question is, are any of these classes available to take the UCD credit? I'm a current student there. Can we transfer the credits to UC Davis campus?
Do you know the answer to that, Katie? I do not.
Well, usually we leave it up to the institution that you are applying to. So we really leave it up to the institution to decide whether or not they want to accept these credits. They might ask for an agenda for the program and then go by that. Okay, can we apply for the winemaking certificate program without the chemistry background? We've already covered that. Yes, you may apply for the winemaking program. However, by the time you are ready to enroll in course number 2, you need to have satisfied the college chemistry requirement. And you can do that by taking our basic chemistry for winemakers course, or you may take it at a local community college or online. If I've taken the introduction to winemaking course several years ago, will that count towards the certificate? The answer is yes. It depends how long ago was that. If it was within the last 5, 6, 7 years, yes, we don't see any problem with that. However, if it is any older than that, then I would recommend that you go ahead and retake that program. We've made some edits, and we used to have videotapes for this course, and now everything is online. The next question is, do you have a link to sign up for the basic chemistry course? As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and provide that and send it to the individual asking for it in an email message. How does the registration process work? Well, course 1 is offered every quarter. Anybody can take it. It can be taken as a standalone course, or it can be taken as a part of the winemaking certificate program. Courses 2 through 5 are not open enrollment. Enrollment is done by invitation only. So going into course 2, when you make an application, your name gets added to the wait list. When your turn comes on the wait list, you are sent an emailed invitation to enroll message. Once you receive that, you will make a phone call with your credit card information and get yourself enrolled. And then the same thing follows with courses 3 through 5. Courses 3 through 5 are slightly different. The first invitation goes to students that have only 1 class left. We give them a week to enroll. Then we send out the second invite and give them another week to enroll. And this invitation goes to students that have 2 classes left. After the 2 weeks into the enrollment process, the third invite goes to students that have 3 classes left. It's open for all. So there is a whole process. Course 1 is the only course you can enroll online, and you can enroll yourself.
Well, you can also enroll in the basic chemistry course.
Right, of course.
Online, correct. And most of this information and the certificate application are available on the website as well.
Mm-hmm. When do you anticipate the wine production class will be offered again? Well, we are offering wine production in fall, which is full, and we are also offering it in winter and in spring. So, and like I said, it is not open enrollment. There is a whole process to it. You need to make an application. Once your application gets approved, your name gets added to the wait list, then you have to wait for your turn, and you receive an emailed invitation. And at that point, you will make a phone call and get enrolled. How much focus is given to US in these courses? Grady?
Not really sure how to answer that. The introductory course covers basically all winemaking regions around the world. The focus on the winemaking side, it is probably fairly California-centric in that it deals primarily with European Vitis vinifera varieties, but essentially virtually all of it is applicable to other hybrid and native species as well. So I don't think there is any reason that someone would feel it's too US or California centric.
Okay, the next question, can you compare or contrast the CPE certificate versus on-campus degree programs?
Well, certainly we're not attempting to duplicate a degree in fermentation science from UC Davis. The program is designed to try to encapsulate the key parts of that science curriculum and put it into a series of classes that can be taken in relatively short order for people that already have full-time jobs and real lives outside of campus. If you're seriously interested in the wine business and can put your life on hold and take the undergraduate program and secure a degree in fermentation science from UC Davis, that will certainly carry more weight in the wine industry than the certificate will. But most people that, at least most of the students in our program do not have that flexibility. And so this is the next best thing. It certainly has been operational for at least 10 years. And so now it is gaining a reputation in the industry, and it will definitely help, but it's not a substitute for a BS from UC Davis.
One of the participants is asking, I have a bachelor's in agricultural sciences from Ohio State. So I have to send you transcripts to show my science prerequisite is completed. The answer is no, we do not ask for prerequisites. If you say you have college chemistry, we go ahead and accept your answer. So no, we do not.
That certainly would provide enough background.
I'm sorry?
That certainly will provide enough background. So.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We also have the ability to waive the introductory course if you have sufficient either industry or academic background that's already covered that introductory material. So you can contact Katie when you make application to the program.
Okay, are there online forms available for recording measurements during the wine making process, looking for use during the upcoming harvest? I don't think we have any forms available, do we, Grady?
We do not, but there are some available from some of the major suppliers and laboratory houses, and so I would just search online. I think you should be able to find something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question is, are you able to pay for or take the courses one at a time to split it up, or do you need to do them all at once?
Good question.
Normally, we recommend that you take only one class per quarter. Most of the students taking our program, they have full-time jobs. So to fit the time into their schedule to take these classes, it's ideal to take one class at a time. You do not have to take, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and if the question was geared around whether you had to pay the entire amount for the certificate at once, the answer is no, you pay when you enroll in the individual classes.
Right, one at a time.
Yep.
Are these courses live, or can I take the course at any time of the day? We have starting and ending dates for these classes. In between, you study at your own pace. However, we do have deadlines for exams, papers, quizzes, whatever each course may have. So
basically all the classes are designed with weekly modules. So you have assignments, readings, lectures for that particular week, and it tries to keep the entire class moving together at the same pace. That being said, most of the material is available anytime, so you can look at and review and view the material at any time that's convenient for you.
Okay, the next question is the introductory class similar to a WSET 2 course? Grady.
I'm not sure, but if you send us the syllabus, we would be happy to answer that question.
Okay. Is it correct that you must take course 2 prior to proceeding to courses 3 through 5? The answer is yes. You need to take courses 1 and 2 before you move to courses 3 through 5. And 3 through 5 can be taken in the order of your choice and availability of these classes. If I have taken a wine introductory course through a different program, can that course transfer over to this program? You want to answer that, Grady?
The answer is possibly. So if you, when you make application, and that'll be through Katie, and just send us what you have taken and what was involved in that course, and we'll see if it aligns with the material that we present.
Okay, one of the participants needs to know, if he can take or she can take the introductory course as audit. And he thinks that he received a positive answer, but now he's unsure. Can you confirm? And the answer is yes, you can take Introduction to Winemaking course as audit. However, if you take it for non-credit, you will not be able to apply that class to the certificate program if you decide to pursue the certificate program down the road. Okay, how do I know where I am on the wait list for wine production? If you need to know the exact date, you could give me a phone call or send me an email message, and I'll be able to tell you where your name is in the waiting pool. For the chemistry course, do I need to buy the textbook in advance, and where to buy it? Grady?
You don't have to buy it. You should have the textbook in advance of starting the wine production course, and you'll get information as to where to buy it at the time you make application to the program, but it's available through Amazon and all the normal channels.
Okay. What's the best way to get my foot in the door at a vineyard or winery? What should I do about networking? I am a home winemaker that wants to grow and be a winemaker professionally.
I think the best way is to talk to local vintners and expand your network that way. So a lot of people that have volunteered at various wineries for, usually that only works in small places. But on the other hand, getting some experience or chatting with a commercial winemaker is probably the best way to do that. And usually it's just a matter of contacting wineries whose wines you appreciate or in styles are made similar to the ones that you would like to make, and making contact. I always recommend, if you have the time, to if you're really interested in production winemaking, you really have to work a harvest. And so if you have the ability to work middle of August through usually the end of October, signing up for a harvest job at a local winery is probably the best way to get your foot in the door.
Okay, and someone wants to know how much the BIT 259, which is Basic Chemistry for Winemakers course is. And the answer is $5.99.
Correct.
The next question, can any of these classes be used towards a master's at UC Davis? And Julie Brinley would like to answer that. Julie?
She would.
I'm sorry, I was reading something else, another question. What was the question?
The question is, can any of these classes be used towards a master's at UC Davis?
All the short courses? Is that what they're asking? Or
it's not clear. It's not clear. It's a general question.
Okay, no on the short courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's also probably true for the certificate courses, because they do not, aside from the introductory course, they don't mimic any of the online courses, at least not directly.
Okay, next question. The student has an agronomy degree in Brazil years ago, where he has taken chemistry and biochemistry classes. UC Davis needs a certificate for that. You want to answer that, Grady? I don't.
I'm sure that's sufficient background for the prerequisite. You certainly, we would waive the chemistry requirement in that regard.
Is there an internship option available during or after completion of these courses?
There is no formal internal intern program. Excuse me. So there's no formal internship program. I don't even think the Vitinology department has a formal internship program anymore, although there is a job board available at the V&E department. But we do not have anything for internships.
Okay. So this question might be directed to Julie. When do you see classes starting in person to have a real class experience in the vineyard and meeting people in classes for networking?
Well, it depends on where we're at with the virus. You know, fingers crossed for, you know, winter quarter. Our true hands-on classes that generally run in winter start in March. So we'll see where we're at in March. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Are these classes usually Monday through Friday between 9 to 5? Well, the online winemaking certificate program classes have starting and ending dates. In between, you study at your own pace. You do need to meet the deadlines for exams, finals, for quizzes, assignments, whatever each course may have. So there is no Monday through Friday. There is, you study in your own time. Next question is.
Well, hold on, wait a second, Katie. Julie
Yes.
might want to answer when the short courses are usually offered.
Oh, okay, sorry, Julie.
So generally we offer our short courses every quarter. This fall quarter obviously turned out different because of the virus, and the classes that we normally have in the fall were just too hands-on to translate to online.
But the short courses, the in-person short courses are usually offered on the weekends, correct?
No, both. During the week and the weekend. Yeah, like the introduction to sensory evaluation wine, John Buchenstein's classes, those are on the weekend. But it's some are on the weekend, some are during the week, some are 1 day, some are 2 days.
Okay, is the introduction course available now, or is there a wait time for that one as well? The answer is no. This is open enrollment. There is never a wait list for this course. You can take it as part of the certificate program or as a standalone course. What is the average workload in terms of hours per day for the courses to get to the certificate? You want to handle that, Grady?
A lot of it depends on your background and your aptitude, I guess. The introductory course is probably on the order of 2 or 3 hours a week, and the 4 main courses are more like 8 to 10 hours per week.
Okay. Is there a maximum time that you have to complete the course work to get a certificate if you can't complete it in 2 years? Well, we usually say 18 to 24 months, but things happen, and we will work with you, whatever it takes for you to complete your certificate.
Yeah, we do have people that take 1 course per year, and it might take them 4 or 5 years to complete, and that's fine.
Okay.
That pretty much
What would my credential or title be after completing this program?
You would be awarded a certificate of completion for the certificate program, and you would get documentation to that effect.
Okay. One of the participants is interested in a list of textbooks for these courses. And I can provide that. I will go ahead and send you an email message with a listing of these textbooks.
Okay.
Next question has to do with the textbook as well. Is the Ron Jackson textbook the only book used for the certificate program, or are there others one needs to buy as well?
There's only one other required text, and that's Patrick Island's text for the QC class. But the wine science text of Ron Jackson is the primary textbook for all of the certificate program courses.
Okay, next question. How much focus the course has on rose winemaking? Also, would you accept credits from other chemistry courses outside the US?
Yes to other chemistry courses outside the US if they're college level classes. And the question was about rose winemaking?
Yes.
Basically none. The courses are all geared around grape winemaking. There's no emphasis on mead or perry or any other product, although a lot of the same functions and techniques apply. It's geared around premium wine grape production.
How is the time, Grady? Do we have time for more questions?
Well, we are just at the 1 hour spot.
Okay.
If you have any pressing questions, I would say that's great. Otherwise, we can handle the rest of them individually by email, I guess.
Yes.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't get your question answered, we apologize for that. Katie and Julie's email and phone numbers are listed on the screen in front of you. So feel free to contact us at any time with any questions about any of our courses or program, and we'd be happy to try to answer them.
Okay.
And with that, I would like to just say thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully you learned what you needed to know, and we hope to see you in one of our future classes here at UC Davis, continuing in professional education. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.